Thanks, Catherine, for that great talk. And I'm going to switch over here to use the remaining 9 minutes and crunch what we have. But that's fine, because the key thing was to hear from Catherine, who had the great story for you. What I'm going to talk to you about is, I'm Khader Mohiuddin. I'm an industry big data architect, and I was the lead on the project which Oracle worked on with Catherine. So that's my role, basically helping customers make progress with their big data projects. So I've had 5 years of experience working with various customers, both in the public sector and private sector, taking them through these journeys. And I have great stories on how people succeed, and many others who don't succeed. They get stuck somewhere in the journey and abandon the project. So that's the experience I bring in. So what we are doing here is we've created a program to facilitate and advise and help people. It's basically a big data advisory practice with people like myself, who has strong technology background and also pretty good industry background. And then we have a team of data scientists. And again, these are the real deal, as Catherine said, because the term data scientist and the role is quickly getting diluted because it's just one of the top wanted jobs on any job board. So everybody is calling themselves a data scientist. But for us at Oracle, the team we are building is the real deal. It's the people who have the statistics background and computer science, a combination of the two. And that's what we have. And so we've led numerous projects and been very successful. We call this Big Data Cloud Accelerate. That's the program we call. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit in the small amount of time we have about, so we basically we move companies to go digital, right? That's another word of, actually a better way of saying being successful with big data. Actually, the term big data has become so overused and confused now. It's actually on the downturn. So some of these new terms which come out, they are measured by Google by a number of searches on those tokens. So big data peaked in 2005, 2008 time frame, and it's kind of on the down. Now the terms which are peaking now is machine learning, AI, and data science. So really that's what is the underpinning of big data. It's really machine learning, artificial intelligence, and so those are the things. So this slide here is basically 3 phases, what we have put into how we take people through their journey, right? So basically the first phase is building a foundation, or rather called a data lab. And that's essentially bringing all sorts of data, regardless of its format and volume. So the techniques have made that possible today. I mean, this couldn't be done back 10, 15 years ago, just because of the cost of putting together a petabyte level of data lake. But now, with things dropping, storage costs are so low, and with technologies like Hadoop and file systems, things like S3, simple storage, you can just build data lakes at very cheap. And people who used to previously throw away data because they just couldn't manage it are now keeping it, and from that you can derive insights. So that's the second phase, is basically building some tools around the data lake to make data available across the enterprise, right? So that's the second phase. And third phase is really adding mobile and real-time access to the data. So that way you are getting the maximum insight from your data. So those are the 3 steps. Our engagement approach is this 4-step approach. Basically, talk to the line of business about use cases. Again, so this is not an IT thing. I mean, again, we don't have anything against IT, but the most success we've had in numerous of our engagements is when we have got both IT and business involved. And especially with use cases, we have to have the business people in the room, and then after identifying use cases, we build a business case. The business case is really a cost model. Okay, to build this new system is going to cost X dollars, and the benefit is Y. And so there has to be in the positive cost model there. So that's what it is. So because that really prevents doing all the crazy science experiments which happen, and especially if you put a group of data scientists and other IT nerds in a room, they can come up with a lot of new things to do. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't matter to the business, it's of no use. And that's when these things fail. And that's what we need to check there. And then the analytics sprint. So this is that short 3-4 week engagement which we did with Department of Conservation, with the Catherine's team, and we got this great success and in this case. But also we've done that at many other customers. In fact, I have a use case which I was going to talk about if we have the time. But so again, the success to that is not worrying about the products, actually, the technology. It's basically the concepts. We don't go into details of whether we're using some SAS storage or even some operating system or a particular version of Hadoop, whether it's Hortonworks or Cloudera or MapR. It's really taking out all those things out of the picture, focusing on here's a set of data, what is the insight that can be derived from this, and how valuable is it to the business. And so that's the focus of this analytics sprint. And after that, we do the solution design, which is actually deploying that in production. So that's the 4-phased approach. So here's another story I was going to tell you if we have time, but we only have 2 minutes.
Speak quickly.
But so this was for Jacksonville Electric Authority. So it's a large community-owned utility there. They service 500,000 electric customers, water customers, sewer, and so we did an engagement there. And same thing, we go into the rationalization of use cases. Everybody has like 20 different ideas, and then we have to rationalize it down, pick the top 3, and these are the top 3 we picked with them. Fraud analytics is basically, tampering with meters and stealing electricity. This is a huge problem, and it has been existed for decades. So the great things for me, always I have this aha moment as I work through hundreds of these projects. The problems we are solving today with new techniques of AI, machine learning, data science are not new at all. These have been existed for decades, but now we are solving them. So that's what that was. And then the 2 other use cases were around predictive maintenance, because that's a big thing again with any utility. So here's a quick snapshot of the overall architecture, and this is where I think we could answer your question earlier about what we have as a solution here. It's basically a PaaS model, platform as a service, where we make available all these new technologies, and most of these are not even Oracle proprietary. This is a combination of open source and Oracle proprietary, which we have packaged and we are delivering it as a service on a subscription basis. And we are having a high amount of success in this model because customers who want to do things like, they don't have to have a huge investment, and particularly they don't have to have IT involved, because you don't have to go through all the certifications, move hardware inside, find a space for the equipment in the data center, and do all the networking. All this is done in the cloud, and that's where the model is. So if you can see here, the center of this picture is really the data lake. So that's basically an unstructured Hadoop distributed file system. And then we place various tools on top of that. to mine the data, curate the data, even cleanse the data. There's a lot of bad data which we have to deal with. So we have tools to do all that, and then the visualization. And then there is connectivity between the cloud and on-premise system, because that's extremely important, and using the same tools. And then there's also Internet of Things. That's a specific service which we have, which will bring data from sensors. And there are so many use cases just around that. So that's the whole platform, which consists of many different products, and then they're delivered as service, so then you can consume based on different configurations. You can just subscribe for like a 2 terabyte, 2 CPU for 2 months, and then it's all elastic. So that makes it very amenable to easily do these sprints and then get some result. And if you like it, you can expand on it. If you don't, you just stop paying and it's gone. So that's really the model here. And so for this particular use case, these were the results. So about the fraudulent power usage detection was found from data using applying data science about 80 times more than what they were previously detecting. So, I mean, there's always fraud going on and people have systems to detect it, but with the new system, it increased 80 times. And then we were basically able to show about 2.9 million to 4.9 million in revenue recovery in a 3-year horizon for this particular customer. So that's a story for you, quick story, and that's all I had. And these are our contact information. There are some URLs, specifically cloud.oracle.com. If you go there, you can see all the details about the various platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, software as a service, things we provide, and including the pricing. So the format is you go there, the services are there, you click on it, there's an overview, there's a video, and a pricing. So you can figure out what it is and what you want, and obviously if you want to engage with us to do any of these Cloud Accelerate, Big Data Sprints, our contact information is there. With that, I end my talk. Thank you. Is there any questions we can take, or is there any time for it? The master says no time. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for attending. Obviously, this session, both sessions, will be posted as separate 20-minute videos on the PSP event website. So I want to thank everybody for coming, and thank you for your interactive questions. Thank you to our speakers, Catherine and Khader. I know that this is a journey, and we're just beginning, and we should all be pretty excited about taking the next steps. So thank you very much.